Yesterday, I took a trade and it made me a little bit under $5,000. You guys can see right there, $4,980 made in the space of a few hours. And I'm going to show you exactly why I took the trade, the higher time frame reasoning behind this trade as well, and basically break down the entire thing so that you guys can go and do this for yourself using my simple Asia range strategy, okay? This is the only strategy I use. And in doing this strategy and using it for the last 2 years, I've been able to go from literally zero to, traveling around the world with trading, having an amazing time. And actually, I dropped out of university 2 years ago just because of this strategy and how good it is. So I'll break down the entire thing and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so let's go first of all on the charts and break down the higher time frame for this trade because as you guys know, or at least you should know, the higher time frame is honestly the only thing that actually matters when taking any trade. It doesn't actually matter what strategy for the most part, right? The higher time frame is the key and it is the reason why people are successful versus not successful. If you don't know how to use the higher time frame, right, you're missing out on seriously so many gains. The higher time frame is the most important thing, and anyone who tells you otherwise doesn't understand how to trade, okay? Because from the daily chart alone and also the weekly chart, I'm able to accurately predict where price is going to go. And then all I need to do is fill in the missing pieces of the puzzle, find an entry on the lower time frames, and that is literally it. Okay. So many people are so focused on the lower time frame so much that they don't even actually look into the bigger picture of things and understand where price is being drawn towards. For example, if we have a look right here on the daily time frame, okay, we can see very clearly that price has headed down to the downside, tapped into this demand zone, and what's it done from this is it's then pushed up, changed character on the 4-hour time frame, shown by this line here, and then it had a slight amount of consolidation to build up liquidity, to generate orders either side of the market, right? Which is essentially just a build up of liquidity to fuel a big move in a certain direction. Then it took out the liquidity, as you can see from this sweep here and this sweep here. Then it tapped into a daily fair value gap, and that is when I got my entry, okay? Super simple. I identified the higher time frame bias was clearly bullish and we were grabbing liquidity to fuel the move to the upside, and all I did is wait for the reaction from the daily fair value gap right here, and then I took my trade, which is the trade that I took, and it's the only trade I've taken this whole week. And it's actually the exact same trade that I took last week that made me $2,300 from the exact same position, the exact same idea on a Thursday. So there's seriously so much importance to trading with higher time frame, and also more importantly, trading on the right day of the week. Most of my trades, right, and I was speaking to my community about this as well, most of my trades happen on a Wednesday or a Thursday, and there's a reason for it. It's because the reversal of the week happens in the middle of the week. And you can see this over and over again. If you literally just look on the charts, you'll see what days reverse, what days don't. And if you can identify those days and combine that with the higher time frame and combine that with a good entry model on the lower time frame, then your win rate will be very, very good, and your success rate will be amazing as well, okay? So that's the higher time frame for this trade. Basically, we came into this daily fair value gap, saw a nice reaction, and then from this point onwards, I dropped to the lower time frames and I looked for my entry. So let's now go to the 15-minute chart and explain to you why I took this trade, okay? And you can see right here, here's the trade that I took. But before we go over this, it's very important to understand the reason why I took the trade here and not this trade here, right? This trade here on Wednesday could have potentially played out, right? As you guys can see, price took out the previous day low liquidity, and in theory, I could have taken a long position here and targeted maybe this high here or even this high up here, right? Because there'll be liquidity resting above every single high and every single low in the market, right? So I could have taken a long position here, but there's a very, very important reason why I didn't. And the reason why I didn't is because this day here is not as high probability as the Thursday here, right? And I'm going to explain why. The main reason why is because we didn't know for certain that we were going to react to this fair value gap here on the daily time frame, the one that I showed you before. We didn't know we were going to react to this, right? Yes, we came into it and we took out the previous day low here, but we also could have continued going to the downside here, right? There's no saying that we are going to 100% react to a higher time frame order block or fair value gap or PDRA in general, right? So what you want to do, and what I do whenever I take a trade, is I wait to see confirmation that we are reacting to an area, for example, this daily fair value gap. Then once we've seen the confirmation, we've seen clear buyers coming into the market, changing character to the upside. For example, if I go on the hourly time frame, you'll see we had a clear change of character as we broke past all of these highs up here, changing character to the upside, which is even more confirmation that we were actually respecting this daily fair value gap after grabbing liquidity from these lows and going to the upside, that I knew the day after, Thursday, was going to continue the trend to the upside, okay? And you can see the trends actually continued on Friday as well. I don't trade Friday, so I didn't trade anything today. Thursdays is the day that I focus on, and there's a big reason for it, and it's literally because of this. You'll also see as well, this trade here that I took on Thursday, guess what? It did the exact same thing, right? Price came down, Wednesday gave us that move to the upside, Thursday is the continuation move, continuing the direction from Wednesday, right? It's literally the exact same position, and you guys can see it right here, right? Wednesday's moved higher, Thursday is the move that we know is high probability based on the Wednesday move higher, and the same exact thing has happened yesterday, which made me $5,000, right? And it's literally happens over and over again. You just need to actually take the time to analyze the charts, analyze the markets, understand the higher time frame, and you can also catch these trades. It's not hard, it's not rocket science. It's just about being patient and waiting for the days that are likely to win and executing when you see those days, right? And by the way, this is all done live in my community. If I go to my Discord, you can see that I literally sent in the exact trade idea, right? You can see right here on the live trading call, you guys can see it's live at the very top. I sent in a picture of this exact thing that I wanted to see on Thursday, right? And then if we go to the charts, you will see, if I go to the 15-minute time frame, the exact thing that I wanted happened. We grabbed liquidity from these lows, tapped into this 5-minute demand zone, targeted the previous day high. And look at what I sent in, the exact same thing. Like, this is not a joke, this is not fake, this is real. And I do it live every single day. You can see the profits right here. You can see my execution was down at these lows, 15 lots, and my take profit was up here, okay? And then it ended up hitting my take profit, as you can see right here, for a little bit under $5,000. Like, everything is on live, everything is there, and there is proof that I do this, okay? My community know, and you guys can see it as well. Like, that is literally all the proof you need. So the trade works, the strategy works. The execution is there. It's just about understanding this and actually taking the time to backtest it so that you can do this for yourself as well, because you all can. I know everyone watching this video can do this. It's not hard, it's not difficult to do. But the most difficult thing about this entire process is just the psychology, right? The psychology of having patience to wait for these days, which don't come every week. Sometimes in some months even, I'll go without trading because I'm not seeing the setup. However, if you look in the last 2 weeks, the same setup has happened 2 times in a row, and guess what? I've taken both of those trades and made in total like $8,000 from taking 2 positions in the last 2 weeks. I've got like an 100% win rate for the last 3 weeks, and it's just from being patient and knowing a strategy, okay? Now, I know I'm speaking very, very quick. I've had like 4 coffees, just black coffee, straight black coffee, because that's how I work. I just like having coffee and just going and attacking stuff. But anyway, yeah, so we came into this 5-minute demand zone here, and I'm actually going to replay price so that I can show you my exact thought process behind the trade, right? So I'm on the live call. Just imagine, right? This is just how I operate. I'm on the live trading call. I'm saying to my community, yo guys, we're looking at this demand zone here, and the reason why we are not going to take any trades before we take out this low here is because this is what's known as a, it's called like a, I don't really know the word for it, but this is just low resistance liquidity. This is just liquidity that's needing to be taken because you can see here, first of all, this move up has happened before London session. London session starts at 8 a.m. So London session starts right here, sorry. So normally any injection of liquidity to the upside or the downside before London session is typically a fake move, okay? And it's basically gonna be induced and price will take it out. price will normally come down, use this as liquidity, which it does, to fuel the move to the upside, which it does, once it taps into the order block that we're looking to trade from, which is this 15-minute demand zone here, okay? So you can see here, at this point on the call, I'm saying to them, guys, I'm gonna wait for this to get taken out. Some of them are saying, well, what if it goes without us? I'm saying to them, doesn't matter. If it goes without us, it goes without us. That means the trade wasn't there. So effectively right now, I'm either gonna not trade if price doesn't pull back into this demand zone, or I'm gonna trade if it does, right? And this is what I'm looking for. That is what I sent in to the community, as you guys saw before. And now it's simply just a waiting game. What I do is I set my alerts for down here, right? I can't do it because it's on replay mode, but I will set my alerts for this low here so that once the low gets taken, I can jump back on the charts and take the trade, okay? So now if we go to probably the 5-minute time frame, I will show you exactly what happens when price did go towards this low here, okay? So keep in mind, I'm not in the trade yet, I'm just being patient. I'm just waiting for this demand zone. Price now taps the demand zone and we see a massive move to the upside from here. Now, there's two ways you could enter this trade, and the way I entered it is actually from going to the 1-minute time frame and simply getting my entry once we saw enough buying pressure coming in from this demand zone, okay? Because in my mind, and it's all about putting stuff together to frame the trade, right? In my mind, and the reason for my trade is not because of the entry. It's not because of a 1-minute change of character. It's not because of a 15-minute order block. It's because of the higher time frame, and because I framed the trade before taking it, I knew I was looking for buys anyway. So all I was effectively looking for to take the trade is buying pressure from a point of interest after grabbing liquidity in the direction of the higher time frame that I expect price to go, okay? So as soon as I saw this buying pressure coming in, I just took the trade, right? Because the trade is valid. As soon as I see the reaction from the demand zone, I just take it, right? Yes, I could have waited for a change of character, but sometimes it's not needed. If the trade is good enough, if the higher time frame is aligning with the position, which it was 100%, then just take the trade. The entry is honestly not that important, and I've got multiple videos about this as well. So my entry was somewhere here. I think it was 246. So there you go. That was the exact entry that I took. Entry was there, and it was basically anticipating a 5-minute candle bullish close like this as well. So if you have a look here, my entry was on this candle here, which is 8:28 a.m. okay? The 5-minute candle would close at 8:30 a.m. So I'm basically anticipating here that this volume will continue to give us a bullish 5-minute candle close, which it does here. The 5-minute candle closes like this, closes bullish like this, and I'm now in the trade with a very good entry with my stop loss covering this low here, and then my targets are simply the previous day high. I didn't take any profits at Asia high because the risk to reward wasn't worth it, and not just that, but I kind of knew we were going to go to the previous day high. And the reason why I knew this is because we had enough confirmation based on the higher time frame. The higher time frame was clearly going to the upside. We saw a very nice sweep of the previous day low on Wednesday, very nice reaction, change of character here, and this is just simply a continuation to target the next high, which is this high here, which is going to get taken out if we are bullish, which I assumed we were, which is therefore the reason why I took this trade, okay? And then you can see price basically went straight to my take profit. I'll be honest, literally went straight there. I closed out the trade at the previous day high, which you can see actually did get swept, and then we saw a reversal, which is why you take profit at these highs here and you don't try and go for crazy things like this, because once price grabs liquidity from here, there's a chance it might reverse, and therefore you don't want to be in the trade anymore, which is why you close out the trade at that liquidity point so that if it reverses, you're out the trade, which it did in this example. So at this point, I had already hit my take profit. I had already made $5,000, and I was happy with the trade, right? And the best part as well is not that I took the trade. For me, honestly, trading is not that hard anymore. I can trade with my eyes closed if I wanted to. But the best part is that my community took this trade themselves, okay? So if I go into my Discord, you will see a few people took the trade. Reese has been in my community now for less than 3 months, and he's now 100K funded. You can see here, he made $8,000 on this position, and he's been in my community for 3 months. okay? Take that in for a second. Like, bro, it's crazy. Daniel took the exact same trade as well, okay? You can see that this is, why is his name Ashman? His name's not Ashman. But anyway, he took the trade, and you can see as well, he profited nothing crazy, $600, but I think he's trading on a 50K account. So that's probably why the profit isn't crazy. But at the same time, he's only been in my community for 2 months. So to be making $600, which I believe actually might be on a challenge account, is still very good, okay? Because obviously he's still in the learning phase, and the fact he's catching the same trades as me is very, very impressive. It's not about making the money at the beginning. It's not about that, because if you go into trading with the mindset where I have to make 5K my first month, you're gonna fail and you're never gonna make it. But if you can just focus on catching the same trades as me and being consistent on a demo or on a challenge account over a long enough period of time, you will eventually make money. It's like guaranteed, because eventually the strategy will stick in your head and you'll know exactly what you're looking for every single day. And from that point onwards, you know you're gonna make it. You're gonna do very, very well for yourself. So you can see there, he took the same trade as me. There's also other people who took the trade, but they just didn't send it into my Discord. But yeah.